Lesson 5, the Yogyakarta Principles. Lesson Objectives. At the end of this lesson, you should be able to know what the Yogyakarta Principles is and understand a person's freedom and rights in terms of self-expression. The Yogyakarta Principles were first introduced in November 2006 during an international meeting of human rights group in Yogyakarta, Indonesia. These principles focus on addressing human rights issues related to sexual orientation and gender identity. They provide a legal framework to combat discrimination, violence, and other forms of oppression faced by LGBTQ+ individuals worldwide. In 2017, the Yogyakarta Principles were expanded through YP10+, which introduced additional principles and obligations that reflect the evolving understanding of gender expression and sex characteristics. Key principles and state obligations. The Yogyakarta Principles outline several essential rights and state responsibilities. Among them are: the first is the right to equality and non-discrimination. State must ensure that same-sex and different-sex relationships receive equal treatment in areas such as partnership benefits, including survivor's pension. Second is the rights of human rights defenders. Principle 27 protects activists advocating for LGBTQ+ rights, ensuring their safety and the ability to work without discrimination. Unfortunately, many activists face threats, attacks, and even death, often with little accountability from authorities. Third is the rights of redress and accountability. Principles 28 and 29 stress the importance of holding perpetrators accountable for crimes against LGBTQ+ individuals and ensuring justice for victims. The United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights has emphasized the need for states to provide effective protection against violence targeting LGBTQ+ people. Additional recommendations. Various international organizations, professional bodies, and government are encouraged to integrate these principles into their policies and laws. A notable example is a joint statement by 54 countries at the United Nations Human Rights Council in 2006, urging global attention to human rights violations based on sexual orientation and gender identity. Lastly is the implementation and challenges. Despite these efforts, challenges remain. As of today, 77 countries still criminalize sex relationship and even impose the death penalty for homosexuality. Organizations like Human Rights Watch continue to pressure governments to change these laws and uphold human rights standards. Backgrounder. What are the Yogyakarta Principles? The Yogyakarta Principles outline how international human rights laws should apply to issues related to sexual orientation and gender identity. They are legally binding, meaning all countries must respect and follow them. These principles promote a world where everyone is treated equally without discrimination. Why are they needed? Many people around the world face violence, discrimination, and even death simply because of their sexual orientation or gender identity. Some of the most common human rights violations include extrajudicial killings, torture and physical abuse, sexual assault and rape, privacy violations, unjust imprisonment, and denial of jobs and education. These serious issues show why the Yogyakarta Principles are necessary to protect people from these injustices. How did the principles come about? The Yogyakarta Principles were created by human rights experts, including judges, academics, and former United Nations officials. A key event in their development was a seminar held at Gadjah Mada University in Yogyakarta, Indonesia. from November 6 to 9, 2006. This meeting held defined how human rights law should apply to sexual orientation and gender identity. What do the principles cover? The Yogyakarta Principles address many aspects of human rights including protection from violence and torture, equal access to justice, privacy rights, freedom of speech and assembly, equal opportunities in job and education, healthcare rights and protection for refugees and migrants. These principles are emphasized that not only government but also organizations, media, and individuals must work together to protect and promote human rights. The Yogyakarta principles are divided into 8 main categories. First is rights to universal human rights, non-discrimination, and legal recognition. Everyone has a right to be treated equally before the law. Example, laws that make homosexuality illegal go against the right to non-discrimination. Next, rights to personal security and protection from violence. People had the right to life, safety, and freedom from violence or torture. For example, in some countries, people are still sentenced to death just for being in a same-sex relationship. Next is economic, social, and cultural rights. People should not be discriminated against in jobs, education, housing, or healthcare. Example, many transgender women face homelessness and violence due to discrimination. Next is rights to expression, opinion, and association. Everyone should have a freedom to express their identity, join organization or events. Example, peaceful gatherings for LGBTQ plus rights are sometimes banned and participants face police harassment. Next is freedom of movement and the right to asylum. People who face persecution because of their identity should be able to seek asylum in other countries. Example, the United Nations recognized that LGBTQ plus individuals should be protected as refugees if they are in danger. Next is the right to participate in family and cultural life. LGBTQ plus people should be able to participate in family life and receive the same benefits as others. Example, same-sex couples should have equal rights to partnership benefits like survivor pensions. Next is rights of human rights defenders. Activists fighting for LGBTQ plus rights should be protected from threats and violence. Example, many human rights defenders face harassment, attacks, and even murder for supporting LGBTQ plus rights. And lastly, the rights to redress and accountability. Government must ensure that those who violate LGBTQ plus rights are punished and that victims receive justice. Example, many crimes against LGBTQ plus people go unpunished because violates international human rights law. Since 2006, many things have changed in laws and society. Because of this, YP plus 10 was created to add new ideas and improve the original principles. It focuses on protecting people from discrimination based on their gender expression and sex characteristics. YP10 Plus includes 9 new principles and 111 new guidelines for governments to follow. It helps ensure that human rights law continue to grow and adapt to new challenges. This document also recognizes that some people experience multiple kinds of discrimination at the same time. The goal of YP plus 10 is to give clear guidance to governments and organizations so they can promote equality and prevent discrimination. It reminds us that everyone, no matter what their gender or sexuality, should be treated with respect and fairness. In summary, Yogyakarta Principles Plus 10 is an important step in making the world more fair and inclusive. It helps protect the rights of people who often face discrimination and encourages government to create better